Morning, everybody. No, I did not sleep in, Andrew. Lovely to see you. Thanks for being here. So, welcome. I see that comment, Benjamin Morgan. If you're new here, or if you've been lurking, please like this video, subscribe to this channel, and perhaps share this information out to those that you think would enjoy it or would benefit from it. The YouTube algorithmic robots do not enjoy us. As of right now, YouTube is not serving up our content. It's not notifying people who want to be here, and it is unsubscribing people that want to be here. So please make sure that you are actually subscribed. I would greatly appreciate that. We're sitting just shy of 105,000 subs. 104.9 something. So if you could help us get over that hump to 105, that would be great. Intel@bearindependent.com is where your emails go to get to the dance monkeys so that you can feed them your tasty Intel nuggets. We've had a severe drop off in submissions to Intel, to the dance monkeys. I don't know if the world is collectively holding their breath. I don't know if people are just over all of this nonsense that's going on out there right now. But I do know that the dance monkeys are going to wither away and die if you don't feed them. So intel@bearindependent.com is where you email them. There's also a contact submission form on the website, bearindependent.com, where you can tap out your love notes to the dance monkeys. Please and thank you. Also, your good news, your silver linings goes to the dance monkeys as well, so that they can end up in this report right here. Lastly, Patreon is essentially the backup channel to this YouTube channel. Patreon is $1 a month, $10 a year to get started. You can sign up for the year, save 17% regardless of what tier you sign up at. In addition to posting everything that we do here on YouTube there, where you will get notified, there's 30 to 100 exclusive pieces of content per month, ranging from Men's Group Monday to Women's Group Wednesday to gear reviews to shooting videos to deep discussions on faith to answering your questions that you submit. There's a new Patreon post up right now. Give me your questions. So if you ever wanted to ask Bear a question and get a 10, 15, 20-minute answer directly on your question, that's how you do it. All of that's at patreon.com. Search for Bear Independent. We appreciate y'all. Let's drink a little disastercoffee.com and then do this thing. See, listen, Zach, that in of itself is something to report. There's not much to report here in Ohio except for people refusing to follow unconstitutional orders. Good. By the way, no, I don't have any permits for these guns because they're not serialized. The formal transition of the presidency has begun with a letter of authorization sent by the General Services Administration. What this authorization from the GSA does is open up the Intel funding, office space, and agency access for the Biden-Harris administration that was previously withheld. Trump seemed to indicate that he authorized Emily Murphy, the GSA administrator, to begin the transition. Trump has not formally conceded. But instead has maintained stance and legal action concerning the election results. Meanwhile, the media continues to state no court has found a single piece of evidence. And I feel like when they say that, they do this. At least that's what I see in my mind. Also, shout out to my beard. You're on point today. The media continues to state no court has found a single piece of evidence. A New York Times reporter, Maggie Haberman, has said that Trump's lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, has been, quote, key in stoking Trump's conspiracy theories, end quote. Lawsuits that even if one would not make enough difference to ultimately matter have been dropped by the Trump campaign, causing the media to claim the cases held no water in the first place. The picture being painted for the public is clear. Trump's resistance is insane and impotent, and any MAGA hatter who lends credibility to it is as well. Other cases have been dismissed. In one case, a federal judge dismissed the lawsuit because the claim was patched together, quote, like Frankenstein's monster. And in another, the judge dismissed the suit with the statement, quote, the plaintiff's interpretations of events is incorrect and not credible, end quote. Rudy Giuliani has indicated that the goal is to swiftly take these issues to the Supreme Court. He said, quote, today's decision turns out to help us in our strategy to get expeditiously to the U.S. Supreme Court, end quote. Now, Mr. Mayor, the country's mayor, Rudy, old Rudog over there. Let's put you all right there. I think I like that a little bit better. I can see you better now. Rudy, I saw some video on And We Know News, AWK News, who, what's up, LT? I'll just put it that way. Saw some video of Rudy talking about these cases that are being brought, and that essentially what is happening right now is the largest crime in the history of the world, and that the perpetrators of this stolen election should go to jail and will go to jail if they continue to do what they are doing. I got to be completely honest with you. While I tend to concur with Mr. Giuliani, I don't necessarily have the faith in our legal system that's going to happen. I also don't have the faith that the Trump organization will be able to withstand the deep state or whoever the bad actors are. He does point out that Lord, I can't remember what, Marok, sounds a lot like Molech. Yeah, from the Old Testament, Lord Marok or something like that, who's George Soros's number 2. And go ahead and pull the live stream right now. George Soros's number 2 guy is deeply involved with Dominion, the voting machines that are causing all these issues. Also, Dominion had representatives at every polling place playing with these voting machines. That's not cool. And then, as we know, in many instances, the executives in charge of the jurisdictions where voting was taking place amended the voting regulations just prior to the election. The problem with that is that it violates state and national law, that legislators are the ones who make the voting rules, not the executives, not the mayors, not the governors, not those people. So on those grounds alone, there should be enough right there to say, in many cases, these elections in certain areas are invalid elections. Every vote that was cast was an illegal vote. You've got Sidney Powell saying, and I just lost my chat. That's cool. There it is. It's back. Good morning, Dudley. You've got Sidney Powell saying that she believes that President Trump won in a landslide. You've got Lynn Wood saying that he believes that President Trump got over 400 electoral votes, and they believe that they have the evidence to back that up. Compare, contrast against the fact that the Biden-Harris team, or we should more accurately say the Harris-Biden team, is already posturing themselves to begin the transition of power into the presidency of these United States of America. We've got reporting from The Blaze over here. There's an article, 24 November, which would have been yesterday. GOP-controlled legislatures in Pennsylvania, Arizona, and Michigan plan to hold public hearings about the election results, Trump team says. Quote, the only way to do this is with public hearings. An attorney on the legal team for President Donald Trump said that 3 key states are going to hold special hearings on the certitude of the presidential election results. Jenna Ellis of the Trump's legal team released a statement outlining what the hearings from other states with Republican-controlled legislatures would entail. Quote, this is Jenna Ellis speaking. The first hearing, held by the Pennsylvania State Senate, will be conducted tomorrow, Wednesday, 25 November, that would be today, in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, where each participating senator will give a 5-minute opening statement followed by testimony from witnesses who have filed affidavits attesting to 2020 election fraud. Read the statement. And there's a large statement here that you could find at the Blaze should one choose to do that. The Wednesday hearing would also include a presentation from former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani, who is also representing the president. Quote, "It's in everyone's interest to have a full vetting of election irregularities and fraud," end quote, said Giuliani. And continuing the quote, "And the only way to do this is with public hearings, complete with witnesses, videos, pictures, and other evidence of illegalities from the November 3rd election," end quote. The statement said that Arizona was scheduled to have its public hearing on the election results on Monday, November 30th, and Michigan is set to have a public hearing on Tuesday, December the 1st. Most mainstream media outlets have declared former Vice President Joe Robinette Biden Jr. the victor of the presidential election based on projections from local vote counts. And as we all know, now this is me editorializing here, as we all know, the media does not pick who the president is. Also, the state legislature is in charge of allocating electoral college votes, not the media. So, most mainstream media outlets have declared former Vice President Joe Biden the victor of the presidential election based on projections from local vote counts. But the president has refused to concede pending the outcome of his legal challenges. So there's a reiteration of that. The statement added that state legislatures are granted sole authority over their electors, according to Article 2, Section 1.2 of the United States Constitution. The legal team made headlines recently when Giuliani released a statement clarifying that Sidney Powell was acting on her own behalf and was not on their legal team, despite having had her speak at a media briefing Thursday about the election results. Powell has claimed that she has evidence of a massive election scam that stole the election from Trump, who she says won in a landslide. So the distancing of Powell here is probably more strategic than it is tactical, because if Powell's going to bring her own suits, it's probably a good idea that she's removed from the Trump legal team at this point, but she can certainly advise the Trump legal team. So, no, Goza, he has not conceded, which is everything we just went through. That's literally what we just covered. There's not been a concession on the part of President Trump. What there has been is the General Services Administration has been authorized by President Trump to begin sharing fundamental things like intel, funding, office space, and agency access with the Biden-Harris administration. However, Trump has not conceded. Trump has not formally conceded, but instead has maintained stance and legal action concerning the election results. So, there you go with that. Additionally, we have an article here from One American News Network, 24 November, yesterday. A new poll, I found this very interesting. Just some of the numbers in here. A new poll found mainstream media biases greatly affected the purported outcome of this year's election. We could all probably just agree with that statement on its face. At face value, that seems to make a lot of sense. According to the Media Research Center, on Tuesday, 82% of Biden voters were unaware of at least one scandal surrounding the former vice president. 82%. 45% of Biden voters were also unaware of Hunter Biden's corruption schemes in the Ukraine. Additionally, 35% of voters did not know that Joe Biden was accused of sexual misconduct. He sniffs children, people. A total of 17% of Biden voters said they would have voted for President Trump if they had known of these things. Now, sample size of this poll, I'm not entirely sure. And we may not be able to extrapolate that 17% from a small polling sample size to a large national size. But 17% of those polled who did vote for Vice President Biden, who did vote for Biden, 17% of those people polled said, yeah, had I known about the sexual misconduct allegations, had I known about Hunter Biden's corruption, had I known about all these different scandals surrounding Vice President Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., I would have voted for Trump. Well, that in of itself would have solidified the landslide for Trump, I believe. However, you can't close the gate after the cows are already out of the barn, right? So here we are. But it does confirm what I think we all felt in our guts. And I think you're seeing that played out by people who are just not at all interested in the ongoing election coverage and have just totally lost faith in media in general, myself included. Let's see. 17% Biden voters would have not voted for Biden if they had known of these stories. This is from Tyler O'Neill. It ranges from 13 to 21% in swing states. Had they known and voted accordingly, Trump would have won with 311 electoral votes. In the meantime, CNN continues to deny the possibility of voter fraud in the 2020 elections. However, footage from their own reporting reveals they previously considered voting fraud a national security issue. Yeah. Well, you know, CNN having any continuity of belief is a fallacy. They just, wherever the wind blows, that's where they go. Now, let's talk just briefly about what it might look like if a Biden-Harris or Harris-Biden presidency takes place. Tyranny actual. I don't know how many times I've got to say they are only going to do what you let them do, but I mean it every time I say it. They're only going to do what you let them do, but they're going to try to do a lot, economically, politically, socially. Firearms, they're going to be coming for them. You have already got the ATF, what is it today? 25, 27 new pistol braces classified as shouldering devices. We'll go more into that on another day that's not the day before Thanksgiving. But, and you know what, we'll probably just let Jared from Guns and Gadgets handle that because he's damn good at doing that stuff, and I don't need to be parroting everything that he would say anyway. But yeah, all the tyranny, learn, train, play, absolutely. So what does that mean? Well, boys and girls, I've been having a conviction for the last 2.5 years since we started talking together. You need to be stacking the things to the rafters. Food, water, shelter, medical, firearms, ammunition. The people should maintain sufficient arms to keep at arm's length a comfortable distance from tyranny. Well, we're here now. I think we're seeing a lot of supply chain issues because demand is through the roof. And then we're also seeing a lot of supply chain issues because of COVID-19. Did the reptilian overlords create COVID-19 so that they can make sure that we don't have all the things that we need so that they can subjugate us? I'm not necessarily going to make that statement, but I would say that that is a lovely ancillary benefit to this globalist regime they're trying to usher in with COVID-19. So what matters is the reality of it. It's damn hard to buy weapons and ammunition right now. If you don't have sufficient arms, I would certainly investigate that because they're going to be coming for them. I firmly believe it's just a matter of time before your access to medical and commerce is dependent upon you having received the vaccine if we allow them to take it that far. I, for one, will not allow them to take it that far. No way, no how, not happening. That is a direct infringement of my life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Okay? And so we either have a constitution or we don't. We've talked about this before many times. But if we don't have a constitution, if you get to govern by edict and credo, I don't recognize your authority because I only have one king and he lives that way. Okay? So therefore, ergo, I'm not under your authority. I don't recognize your rule. No, thank you, sir. Have a wonderful day. To which folks would say, yeah, that's easy to say until they're shoving a gun in your face. Understood. I agree completely. But they won't be shoving a gun in my face. They'll be shoving a gun in our face. Think about that. We get a vote. It's one of the many reasons I tell you all you need to date people, fall in love, do the hard things together, build context, have meaningful relationships, go do the things, form groups of people, because it's much, much more difficult to subjugate independent groups of self-sufficient people than it is to subjugate the sheeple masses of people who are already dependent upon the system. So get as freaking independent of the system as possible. And I mean it with everything that I've got. I mean it in all love to y'all. Get independent of the system as much as you can, whatever that might be. If you're growing freedom tomatoes in your apartment, awesome, do it. If you can't, find ammunition, dry fire, get one of those little laser do-bobble things that goes in your pistol. Do that. Do push-ups, do crunches, do sit-ups, do pull-ups, do dips. Go rucking, go for a hike, get a $50 Baofeng and read Ham Radio for Dummies and be as confused as I was when I read it. But start doing the things. Keep doing the things, because I think that if Biden and Harris get in, they are going to turn up the volume knob on tyranny, which means we have to be able to respond to that. And that starts with, no, I'm not doing it. And that's backed up by everybody else saying, no, we're not doing it. No, thank you. No, sir. Not happening. And they said, well, you have to, or else. Or else what, homeboy? See, that doesn't work when it's just you. It doesn't work when you're on your 4th floor walk up and they come knocking on the door. Mr. Jones, we're here to give you your vaccine. Well, I don't want it. Okay, cool. Well, guess what? We're going to weld you into your apartment and you must stay here because you are a danger to society. Cool. I don't want to exist in a society where I'm a danger to it. I want to exist in a society that I have created with the hand of the Most High and the blood, sweat, and tears of the people that I love, in such a place where we would never consider welding somebody inside of their damn house because they didn't take some manufactured vaccine. So choose this day whom you shall serve. As for me and my house, we will serve the Most High. And we're going to do that independently out here in the middle of nowhere so that when the man does come knocking on our door, we see him coming from 5 miles away. Copy? Copy. All right, bare facts are packed tighter than Democrats would like to pack the courts. This one right here, this is a minimum. Boom, minimum, red with reflective. They come in all the colors. They're handmade. They're made in America. They're guaranteed forever. If you break one, I will send you another one. If you use one to save a life, I will send you all the things you need to replace the things that you use to save a life for no cost at all. For you, it costs me something, but I don't care because I want these kids out there to save lives. If you do a cost comparison on this handmade, made in America, guaranteed forever kit, compare it to a lot of our other competitors, you will find that we are selling this for the same price that many other people are selling their Chinese stuff. Copy, copy. And we have 100% genuine North American rescue components inside of this kit right here. In the top, you got your combat gauze. You need to add that at checkout as an additional. And then you pull the handle. This comes out. Now you got a purpose-built, handmade in America blowout kit in your hand. You pop the tab. You open it up, and everything you need is right here, out where you can use it to work on the casualty, not bungee corded or molly to the side of the casualty, out where you can use it. Gen 7 cat tourniquet, nitro gloves, because if it's wet and dirty and not yours, don't touch it. Legit North American Rescue decompression needle. Find me another civilian kit that you can buy right now on the market that has a decompression needle in it. I'll sit here and wait. Oh, right, there isn't one. 6-inch North American Rescue Emergency Trauma Dressing. Down here, you have your stack, what we call the stack, which is your 7 1/4-inch North American Rescue EMT shears. These are not cheap Chinesium bullshit shears. They're real shears with the O2 bottle opening right there. You've got your nasopharyngeal airway, size 28 French with the Surgilube. You've got not one, but two 5x9 combine pads here. And then you've got not one, but two full-size high-fin chest seals. Everything you need and nothing you don't for the MAR of the March algorithm, your massive bleeding, your airway, and your respiratory right here. And you can add all types of things to these kits at checkout, like SWAT bandage or SWAT T tourniquets and additional pressure bandages and additional cats and all the blah, blah, blahs. You can use your FSA and your HSA when you check out at bearindependent.com in the store. And if you're not using promo code BEAR20 right now, we love you, but you're doing it wrong. It's the biggest sale that we've ever had. We did that for Black Friday because we know that many of y'all have winter holidays coming up where you would like to give meaningful gifts to people that you love. And you can do that by getting the Bear Fac or the Bare Minimum at bearindependent.com. In addition to that, maybe pick up a trainer tourniquet so that when you get shot in your left leg, go. Ah. Oh, I'm bleeding. I'm dying. I'm dying. I'm dying. We're all shot in the left leg. Everybody go. Come on, Garen. Do it. Police the pockets. Ah. Gosh, dang. There it is. Ah. Woo. Ah. Ow. 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 Lovely. All right. Now, this is the CubKit. This is the CubKit Pro. All right. This one right here is the one that we're giving away from the Grindstone Fall fundraiser. But let's say that perhaps you got a whole bunch of these to buy and budget is a consideration. Check out the CubKit Pro. It's got all the cool things in it. I'm going to very briefly show you what it is. You got a Sharpie, cat tourniquet, set of shears, EMT rip-away pouch. Pop this open. You got your duct tape. You got your quick clot rolled gauze. You got your nitro gloves. You got your airway. You've got your 5x9 combine pads. You've got your compact chest seals right back here. Good to go. Down here, you got a Mylar blanket. You got an additional SWAT T tourniquet. And then behind that, you've got your 4-inch North American Rescue fold flat trauma dressing. These are awesome for everybody. We developed them for kids to be more affordable. And then we added a cat tourniquet, shears, and an airway and quick clot to it. Called it the CubKit Pro. And we do a lot of these for civilians, first responders, law enforcement, EMS. They're very affordable kits. These things right now, they retail, this retails at $129. You can get 20% off of that. So it's 26 bucks. It's 103 bucks out the door right now. Quick shipping, doing everything we can to get these kits out as quickly as possible. All right, take that tourniquet off of your leg. Ah, woo! Gosh, dang. All right. Yay, blood flow. Yay, blood flow. Yay, blood flow. How to stage the tourniquet. Let's talk about that real quick. We'll get back to the report. Step 1, take this red tab, fold it over. Why? Because I need to be able to get a hold of this with one hand, okay? There are 2 things that the Council on TCCC requires for a tourniquet. The first is you have to be able to apply it one-handed. The second is it has to be at least 1.5 inches from here to here, okay? So one-handed, I want this like this because I can throw it on and pull. See how that works? That little tab folded over like that. The next is You leave this just large enough so you can get it over a foot if you had to. But the trick here is you want this to fold back to here so that when these come together, these hooks are not interacting with this hook and sticking. You want it to fold over on that nice smooth surface so that one-hand operability, you put your thumb on the C-clip, shake it out, you got a nice perfect loop, one hand. On, find that tab, pull, on, good to go. You also keep your time tab over here off to one side so that you don't have to be fighting your way through it under stress, under duress, in order to get at the windlass, okay? So that's how you stage a cat tourniquet. And believe me, it's my job to teach people that. So fabulous. Like that, fold it up like that, put it in your tourniquet holder, put it on the side of your pouch, put it wherever, don't matter. All right, the chat room, keeping it honest, brutally honest. Prepper Days, what's up? Okay, Jason, good idea. Come on over, we'll do it. I got some duct tape. Moving right along, in the United States, adverse growing conditions and increased demand are affecting seed supplies for both farmers and gardeners. Farmers are facing a shortage of soybeans and sorghum seeds because of back-to-back late-season droughts. And demand for more seed in general has also increased because of the lower germination rates seen in the previous crop. For those growing their own food, the huge increase in demand from the pandemic will likely be sustained into the next year, creating its own seed shortages, as increased demand for seeds cannot be met within a single year. Seeds are grown, not manufactured. Save your seeds. I do believe right now we still have some seeds from the Burning Hearth Homestead in the store. I'm going to go look right now, www.bearindependent.com. I'll go over here. I'm going to click the store tab. It's going to pop up, and then I'm going to look under, let's see, I think it's Grindstone Ministries merchandise. Let's see. No, yep. Under Grindstone Ministries merchandise, right here, I'm going to go ahead and grab the link, copy, drop it in the chat. But yep, Burning Hearth Homestead seed grab bag, 25 bucks, and you get a bunch of seeds for that. So those are still in the store. If you need seeds, you can check them out there. Highly recommended that you do. The reason I wanted to bring this up is because of food scarcity. Food scarcity, for those that don't know, up here we have the threat matrix from back in the day, and we're tracking 7 things. Food shortage, civil unrest, economic crisis, war, tyranny, disinformation, and Rome burning. Food shortage is the #1. Why is it the #1? Because without food, you die, and none of that other stuff matters. Now, I don't know if we are in a true end times scenario, or if we are just experiencing a convergence of cycles that feel that way. But we do know from Dr. Michael McGee's excellent book, Divine Numerics in the Coming World War, that we are in a season of war for the United States of America. This particular season is incredibly dangerous. It's the type of season of war where the United States will either exist or not exist. It's not one that we come out of either way. It's one that if we don't win, we don't exist. And one could easily make the argument right now that the type of war that we're fighting is an internal war, although that's not necessarily backed up by Dr. McGee's book. So we know we're in the seasons of war right there. We know we are in a socioeconomic season right here. The pendulum is swinging back and forth. 80-year cycle on that. We know that we are in a sun cycle right now, the 400-year and the 4,000-year solar cycles, going into possibly, likely, another grand solar minimum. That's definitely going to affect things like, the Earth's magnetosphere, felt solar radiation, and also the ability to grow crops, and also weather patterns. And we also know that we seem to be in this kind of political season as well. So I don't know if it's all this convergence of cycles that's going on right now that makes it feel very apocalypsy, or if it's actually very apocalypsy. In either case, regardless of what it is, we should still be prepared for food scarcity. The reason for this is if things go bad, food will be weaponized against you. If you don't have food, you will be forced to do things that would make your stomach turn in order to get food. Even the Jewish resistance fighters, the partisans in World War II, ladies had nowhere to go. It was stay in the ghetto, go to the camps, or join the resistance. So they joined the resistance. And for a coat, for food, they sold themselves because it's all they had. Ladies, you feel like selling yourself to get a morsel of food? Negative. We don't do that. Nor do I want my daughters put in that position or my wife put in that position. That's not happening. People will drag other people. There's a horrendous image of a German during World War II having dragged a pregnant Jewish lady out of a barn naked and forced her to kneel and put a gun to the back of her head and shot that pregnant woman through the back of her head. Why? Because the money was useless in Germany. And many, many, many people joined the German army. They joined up for no other reason than it kept them fed. Are you going to compromise your morals and ethics because you're too lazy or stupid or stubborn right now to not stack food? Not me. You want the ability to act, not to be acted upon. This is Positions of Strength 101. An army marches on its what? Stomach. That's correct. You can't weaponize food against me when I don't need your food. And many would say, well, they're going to come take your food, Barrett. First of all, good luck. Second of all, come find it. It's all of our eggs are not in one basket. Third of all, good luck. So, you want the ability to act, not be acted upon. There's been much ado made about this concept of a dark winter. What are you going to do when the supply chain logistics fall apart? Because it's a dark winter, man. They're going to shut the national grid down. I've been screaming from the rooftops for the last 2.5 years. Get independent of the system. Human existence in North America and around the globe at this point is dependent upon the successful flow of electrons. What are you going to do when the electrons don't flow? Either figure out how to make do without the flowing of electrons, or figure out how to produce your own flow of electrons. The two very simple columns right here. Stone Age technology up to 1800s technology, or 21st century technology, but you got to power it yourself. Or, I guess column 3, merge those two things. And that's where I am. Merge those two things. You have to figure that out now. Just like the time to zero your AR-15 is not the moment you need it. It's way before. You have to figure out how to do these things now before you need to do them. And a large portion of this mindset is coming out of her, my people, getting away from that system so that you can build your own system again, to be independent again. Because if this dark winter comes, what are you going to do about it? You're just going to be at the mercy of they. You can't rightly sit around and bitch and moan about they on the one hand, and then on the other hand, do nothing to be independent of they. That's not how we roll here. So, the dark winter, I want to just briefly touch on that again. Article by the Ice Age Farmer. Next crisis bigger than COVID. Power grid and finance down, and the World Economic Forum's cyber polygon by Ice Age Farmer, 15 November. The World Economic Forum warns of a new crisis of even more significant economic and social implications than COVID-19. What threat could possibly be more impactful? It's a tabletop exercise, cyber polygon, and its participants are looking at predictive programming around a large looming cyber attack on critical infrastructure that would unleash a dark winter and help to usher in the Great Reset. The Great Reset. What are you going to do when your money's worthless and you have no food? What are you going to give up? Freedom's cool, but I'm starving to death. Have y'all not read Angry Americans books? Think about, and obviously it's prepper fiction, but think about all those people that willingly went to the camps. Now, many people will say, see, FEMA's going to put us in their FEMA camps. We talked about this last night. FEMA can't get a jar of peanut butter to somebody's house that's been destroyed 4 months ago by a friggin' hurricane. The only way that you're going to get into a FEMA camp is if you willingly go to a FEMA camp. To think that FEMA is going to administrate the mass imprisonment of the United States of America is ludicrous. But what they will do is create the environment for you to willingly acquiesce to their control over you because you are no longer able to maintain and sustain yourself and the people that you love. And you will willingly walk into those camps because they have food, they have water, they have shelter, there's heat in there. And yeah, I know I got to work 10 hours a day, and a lot of the things that I got to do, they're pretty unethical. But you know what? I get my rice and beans at the end of the day. That's right. That's right. These uniforms, I don't like them. They're oddly reminiscent of some tyrannical uniform I saw one time, but it's okay. It's whatever, because you know what? We're good. We're good. We're safe inside of these fences here. We're okay. We're good. Roger that. Nope. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Jeremy Jurgens, the World Economic Forum managing director, said, quote, I believe that there will be another crisis. It will be more significant. It will be faster than what we've seen with COVID. The impact will be greater, and as a result, the economic and social implications will be even more significant. Klaus Schwab, quote, we all know, but still pay insufficient attention to the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack could bring a complete halt to the power supply, transportation, hospital services, our society as a whole. The COVID-19 crisis would be seen in this respect as a small disturbance in comparison to a major cyber attack. To use the COVID-19 crisis as a timely opportunity to reflect on the lessons of the cybersecurity community can draw and improve our unpreparedness for a potential cyber pandemic. This again from Christian at the Ice Age Farmer, one of the best YouTube channels out there. If you're not currently following him, you should be. And that's at his website, theiceagefarmer.com. I was asked yesterday in an interview by Dudley that'll post on Patreon, why do you care so much about the people on the other side of the camera? And I'm not going to go into all the detail that I gave yesterday, but I'll say this. It's because I think you're here for a reason. And I am fully aware that I'm nobody special. I'm just a broken dude that the Father figured out how to put back together again and then beat the shit out of me until I would do what he tells me to do. And that's where I am in my life, in my daily walk. Sometimes he has to hit me with a sledgehammer to get me to conform to his will. And other days it's just a little tappy tap tap with a tack hammer. But he convicts me to do this with y'all and for y'all. And so please honor my conviction to do this with action on your part. I don't just say these things because I want to scare people. I don't say these things because I crave the interaction. Most people that know me philosophy, I'd rather have 4 people that matter than 100 people that don't. I'm not here for fame, fortune, and attention. I'm here because I feel convicted to share this information with y'all so that if something crazy happens, you and your family are okay. so that you can operate from positions of strength and be a blessing to those in their time of need. Does everybody copy? You get that? Hey, Yakamudi, language ain't going to happen. Here's the deal. I decided a long time ago, I am not censoring myself for anybody or anything. And this is not necessarily a kid-friendly channel. I appreciate that many of y'all watch this channel with your kids, but I cannot press pause on the words as they come out of my mouth. I can't do it. And I understand that if because of that you can't be here because you've got little ones, I totally get it. But I cannot do it. I have tried for too long and it doesn't work. What you get is me, unrestricted, unrefined me. So I apologize for your little ears, but understand that I'm doing the best that I can with what I've got right here where I'm at. And when I try to censor myself in the moment, it all comes apart. And it's unfair to me to do that. So I'm not going to. Okay? Listen. Go to adventurefrontier.com. Please. This holiday season, they are a small family-owned business. They have excellent customer service. They have all your prepper products. They got your Spartan armor. They got your IFAKs, and they got your fluffy bunnies. G. Miller, I appreciate your $10, but I'm not there right now, bro. We'll come back around to that in a minute, maybe, or otherwise we'll do that on Tactical Tuesday, which there will be a programming note at the end of this broadcast. See, that's why we don't do this during the live stream, because now my train of thought is derailed yet again. AdventureFrontier.com is where I would like you to go. Go see our brother Travis, the NWA Prepper, and get you some Spartan armor, get you some bear facts, get you some bear mins, the active shooter response kit. You can get all your prepper gear from them, and they're a phenomenal company. They have excellent customer service. They have quick shipping times. They rock. So please check them out at adventurefrontier.com. Additionally, grindstoneministries.com is us doing the things. We are in the process. I'm meeting with some people next week to begin scheduling our next deployment. So those of y'all who are signed up for the email newsletter at bearindependent.com, you will get information about that first when it comes time to staff up for those projects. And then there's many of y'all that we know personally, that we text and call and hug and love, that we'll let you know as well. But yeah, upcoming deployments as soon as before the end of this year, potentially. So fall fundraiser, you can spend a $5 bill and enter for a chance to win over $3,000 worth of badass tactical equipment. That's at grindstoneministries.com, disastercoffee.com. Your life might be a disaster, but your coffee doesn't have to be. We love them if you want to drink coffee. And you might even be hunting for a coffee company that you would like to support at this point in your life. You might consider trying disastercoffee.com. Amendment, the #1 preparedness. They have a new promo code out right now, A1P Amendment, the #1 preparedness.com. And I think it's Black Friday Matters, gets you 20% off at amendment1preparedness.com. And of course, Sanctified Supply Co. Listen, if you're a human being, you probably should be wearing clothes. If that's the case, you can get clothes from sanctifiedsupplyco.com and support American small business believers in the Most High who are just trying to do the things rather than some big nameless faceless corporation. All righty, silver linings. Quote, I was able to make friends with a local farmer, and I'm buying 50-pound bags of clean white wheat for $10 each, which makes great tasting bread. So far, I have bought 2,200 pounds, and he has another 1,800 pounds that I can buy. That's awesome. I'm also buying 50-pound bags of clean oats for $6 each, and he is getting a cow butcher that I'm buying a quarter of. I continue to stack it to the rafters. Good job. Another Bear National said, my wife has finally come on board with gardening this year, and we were able to harvest about a quarter of our produce through the year. It's awesome. And another said, I'm officially in my new house on 6.5 acres. Just started a compost pile for my spring garden, and I'm getting the property ready for chickens. I wish I had done this sooner. but I'm where I'm at now and only moving forward. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you and good job. To connect with like-minded people in your area, please visit the forums at bearindependent.com. Again, bearindependent.com. There's a forum there. Remember to use promo code BEAR20 in the store for 20% off all orders of $100 or more. BEAR20, it's the best. Believe it, tremendous. That runs now through midnight on the 30th. And follow Bear Independent, Refuge Medical, and Refuge Training on Instagram. Bear Independent, Refuge Medical, and Refuge Training on Instagram. Lastly, a programming note. For the foreseeable future, at least probably till the first of the year, we're going to do these reports Monday, Wednesday, Friday here on YouTube. And we will continue to do the Tactical Tuesday live stream Tuesday nights on YouTube. Pre-recorded content on YouTube is getting essentially zero engagement. Something is up for 24 hours, has 3,000 views when there's 105,000 people subscribed. It's not worth my time or your time for me to be doing that. So until I see pre-recorded content on YouTube getting the engagement that it deserves to make it equitable for me to do it, I'm not going to do it. That stuff will continue to exist on Patreon. And it's $1 a month or $10 a year. Patreon, nothing is changing on Patreon as far as programming is concerned. You're going to continue to get all of the everything, you know, your 5 mini consults a week and your men's group and women's group and exclusive live streams and Zoom calls and written reports and the daily brief and all of that will still be on Patreon. But as far as YouTube is concerned, Monday, Wednesday, Friday on the reports, Tuesday night, Tactical Tuesday live stream, and we'll take it from there. I'm just not seeing the engagement here on YouTube that we have been seeing. And so, hey, Mountain Kid. Goodbye. Yeah, people pay me. You'd be amazed. People actually pay me a lot of money. I do a lot of consulting as well. And you know what else that I do, Mountain Kid? One of the things that I do is I grow businesses. I've been doing it since I was 17 years old, and I've grown many multi-million-dollar businesses for myself and other people. We also have a preparedness consultancy. We also have an online store where we sell handmade, made in America, guaranteed forever blowout kits that have saved 13 lives now. We have a men's group and a women's group where we have prayed 20 people out of suicide. We steward and bless people. We raised $16,192 for a brother who had a tree fall on his car the other day. And then we have a ministry where we rescue and rehabilitate victims of human trafficking and sex crimes, have deployed 14 times in the last 18 months. So you can kiss my hairy white ass, you little asshole. Now, moving right along. Programming note. Put a bow on that. Patreon.com. Bear Independent. Search for Patreon.com. $1 a month, $10 a year. And yeah, YouTube, when we see pre-recorded engagement get back to where it should be, I'm not with 105,000 subs. If I get 3,000 views on something, that doesn't work. Doesn't work for either of us. That's not the best way for either of us to be spending our time. So don't hate what you can't imitate. Well, there you go. What did Babe Ruth say? It ain't bragging if you can do it. There you go. So nothing changes on Patreon. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, brief here on YouTube. Tactical Tuesday here on YouTube. And, you know, we're going to try that for a little while and see what happens. In the meanwhile, be sure to be sharing out things like the Prepper Classroom to all your Prepper newbies, or if you need to brush up on anything, let's talk to the Father. Good morning, Father Yah. Father, thank you for everybody within the sound of my voice. Father Yah, thank you for the opportunity to do this. Father, thank you for strength and conviction and authority and power. Father, I pray that you would just steward and bless everything that we've got going on, whether on a macro level, nationally, or on a micro level, in our homes and in our hearts. Father, that you would bless the work of our hands, that you would bless the fruit of our bodies, that you would bless our land. Father, that you would continue to heal us, that you would remove the scales from our eyes and our ears, that we could see and hear and understand you better. Father, thank you for dragging us kicking and screaming along the pathway of your will, and for striving with us and teaching us how to overcome and leading us to rule. Father, thank you for this. Thank you for being sovereign over all things. And thank you for speaking to us in languages that we can understand. Father Yah, if there is anything within the sound of my voice that's not of you, I rebuke it in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach and command it to flee. Father, fill us up with your Ruach HaKodesh, your Holy Spirit, for wisdom and discernment, for strength and power and authority, for healing, and for peace that surpasses all understanding. Father, lead us where you would have us go, convict us to do your will, and use us to serve your kingdom. Put us where you need us, and show us what to do, and we will do it. Father, you are totally awesome. You are all powerful and wonderful, and you are literally awesome. I am in awe of you. And the fact that you would strive with one such as me humbles me. Father, I give you all the glory. Father Yah, thank you for these people. I commend them into your hands. I lift them up to you and lay them at your feet and ask that you would bless them today, that you would protect them and provide for them today, that they would experience you, that they would know peace, that they would know provision, and that they would know blessing. And I ask all these things in the mighty name of Yeshua HaMashiach. Amen. Y'all have a blessed Thanksgiving. We'll see you soon. Shalom.